I would like to thank my wife as well as my underwear for all their support.
Oh, yeah.
Hey y'all, and welcome back to another edition of Cooking Chris's Dishes with the good old boy that is me, where we're cooking up dishes straight from recipes.crock.com, which is my beautiful wife's cooking blog that has well over 400 recipes and a rising. And one of the recipes on her blog was a dish that was made by Sarah, or as we know her around here as Aunt Lou. And it's another one of those recipes where I say, why didn't I get to eat that? And we were just out on the redneck party deck, hence the hat. And we spent most of the day out there on the deck, swimming in the pool, chilling on the deck, listening to some good cheesy 80s music. And it was time for Mama to go fix dinner. And it just so happens to be one of the recipes we're taping today, and that is a home-style pork chops. It is a gooseberry patch recipes.
Yes.
It's a gooseberry patch recipe that comes from a cookbook. And I can't find it. Everyday Slow Cooker.
Oh.
And Aunt Lou said it was really good. It trends very well on the blog, and I'd never had it. Well, Mama made it tonight for dinner, and I see why it trends so well. It is now, after 39 years on this earth, my favoriteest pork chop recipe in the world. And I don't doubt that it's going to be yours as well. And to make this, you need, well, pork chops. And we have here 2.2 to 2.2. I don't know how I started speaking some kind of a foreign language, but
It was almost like...
this food's so good you'll speak in tongues.
No.
No.
6 to 8 thick pork chops.
68 thick pork chops.
6 to 8.
6 to 8 thick pork chops. What she said. And the operative word there is thick. You want a thicker pork chop, not a thin pork chop. You want a thick pork chop. More juicy meat going to be in there. And it cooks up a lot better too. So I have, well, 6 thick pork chops. You also need the following: 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour, 1.5 teaspoons of dry mustard, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, which is right there, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. 6 to 8 boneless pork chops. Had I read the recipe beforehand, I could have told you without all that little dialogue there. And you also need 2 teaspoons of oil, and then a 10.5 ounce can of chicken broth. We did not have a 10.5 ounce can of chicken broth, so we had to make our own. How did you make this?
I used a bouillon mix to just... I heated the water up in the microwave and mixed it together to make chicken broth. I do have a question. You said 2 teaspoons of oil. Are you sure that's not tablespoons?
It's the big T's and the little T's that throw me. Let's try this again. It's 2 tablespoons
There you go.
of oil.
Let's do that before.
Now we're gonna do this first, because what we're gonna do is, first off, you need to make a mix. You're gonna mix this stuff together right here, all your dry stuff, and you're gonna dredge your pork chops in it. You're gonna lightly coat them, and I'll show you that here in a minute. And then, as far as the recipe here goes, it says to brown your pork chops on both sides in a skillet. Just so happens we've got a couple different crock pots in Mama's arsenal that do that as well in the crock pot. So it's in one dish, and you don't have to do multiple dishes dirty. Do multiple dishes dirty? You don't got to do them dirty. So I'm going to take this hot lid off of my
Look at you being careful.
hot crock pot. Yeah, I felt it's hot.
Well, be careful.
And I'm going to take 2 teaspoons of oil and put in the bottom
He
of my
means
thing.
tablespoons.
I'm going to take 2 tablespoons, which is about that much.
Looks like
Just enough to coat the bottom of the skillet, if you're or crock pot. If that's more, sue me. So you're done with your oil. While that is heating up, I'm going to take a great big gallon baggie and put in a mixing bowl. And the mixing bowl is just going to serve as something to hang on to the baggie. While I put in my flour, my mustard, my salt, my garlic powder. And then we'll just kind of
Oh, if that works.
get it together. Yeah, that wouldn't be fun to clean up, would it? Oh, you know I would. I clean that right up.
Yes, you would.
And then take my pork chops.
You need to hurry. That's smoking.
That's okay. It's olive oil. It's got a higher smoke point, and it's smoking, so I need to hurry. And you take your pork chops. I'm going to take one at a time.
No,
Close the bag.
You can put them all in there, honey.
You can put them all in there.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, before you shake them up, close the bag. Yeah, my oil's getting hot, so
Why
I
don't
need
you
to
just
hurry.
shut that off until you're ready?
I'm going to shut this off until I'm ready, so stop. That's still going to be hot, so I still need to hurry.
Now you just get it all over there.
Mix it up. Kind of like shake and bake. Only this is more of jiggle and slow cook.
There's going to be extra flour left. And
You're going to need it. You're going to need it. Don't throw this away when you're done.
So don't dump the whole sack in there.
Once you've got your pork chops all coated, that's kind of fun to do that. Then you put them right in your skillet or your slow cooker, and you want to brown them on both sides. How long did it take you to brown these, babe?
Not very long. You just want to get a little color on each side. It's not precise. It just kind of sets that flour. Uh-oh, you knocked your camera.
Oh,
The star gets mad when you knock
My
the
bad.
camera.
my bad. Sorry. We have a problem.
You just gotta squish them all together. It'll fit.
It'll fit. You ever been to a circus? You ever seen all those guys smush in and out of a clown car? That's kind of what you're doing here with your pork chops.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, don't touch the bottom of your skillet or your crock pot as you're smushing your pork chops into your clown car. And she was right. Again, they fit. So I'm going to let those kind of brown. I'll check on those here in a minute. And then I want to take and throw this away. Let's get this out of the way. And I want to take my broth, take my stuff, my mix that's left over from the pork chops, and dump it right into the broth. Put that all in there, a little bit on the counter. Be all right. And all I want to do is stir it up. And get it all over the counter. Be very careful, because if you get stuff on your counter and somebody's watching, you'll hear from behind the camera. But get it mixed up pretty good, just like that. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. You're going to turn your skillet back on. You're not sizzling.
Oh, my bad. On. All right. So now, get that mixed up. It's getting a little thickened up there by the flour.
Yeah, it'll thicken while cooking too.
It'll thicken while cooking, she says. All right, that smells really good. I know it's really good because what I'm about to show you is what we just had for dinner. I could attest to this. It's very, very, very good. So I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. Because I handle pork,
Yeah.
and then I got flour all over my hands.
Yeah. You can clean up the whole station while we're waiting. Heck, we need to wait. You can clean the rest of the kitchen.
Yeah, we know that's probably not gonna happen. I'm done with this mixing bowl, aren't I? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was just there for support.
Just like me.
That's right. All right, so we got our workstation cleaned up, and we're just kind of waiting. I'm gonna check
I
on
think you
these.
could probably turn them. They just need just a little color. That's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna flip them over. You want the flour to cook, pretty much.
Yeah. It'll still cook once you put it on.
Oh, that one's pretty.
Yeah.
We're gonna mess with this one last because it was the last one to get jammed in the clown car.
Is that turned up as high as it'll go?
It's on the saute brown setting.
Okay.
And you can hear it in the camera. It's sizzling. Sizzling real good. You getting hungry yet? I just ate, and I'm smelling this and hearing the sizzle, and I'm hungry again. So I'm going to show you here in a little bit what it looks like after these get browned up. So if you do this in a skillet, you're going to brown them up in a skillet. You're going to take this mixture, put it in your slow cooker, and then take your browned up pork chops and put them in here. My question to you, since this is the first time I've made it, just leave them in there and pour that over the top?
Just leave them in there. Once you feel like they've had enough time to brown on the other side, leave them in there and just pour it on top. Turn it to slow cook.
Takes about 10 minutes to get everything put together and get your pork chops brown. So,
but they are like heaven.
Yeah, it's going to be the most valuable 10 minutes of your life. Trust me. You're going to want to do this. And here's the cool thing about this recipe. A lot of the recipes that we do on this site are slow cooking site stuff. Slow cooking recipes that take 6, 7, 8 hours at times to do. This one, 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And so what we did is we went running around all day today, and then I came home and I built Mama a new shelf for all her crock pots.
You have to show them.
I didn't really build it. I just followed the instructions and put it together. But it's a really cool shelf. It's like twice the size of the one we had, so now all of our crock pots will fit on the shelf. In fact, I will show you what the shelf looks like right now. Everybody go, ooh, ah. I told you she's like the Iron Man 3 of crock pots. So that's what the shelf looks like. That's where we store all our crock pots. She's actually got 2 more in boxes that will be stuffing on those shelves, and I'm sure there will be more to come. So I'm going to check on my pork chops now. Yeah, they're getting there.
It's not an exact science. It's fine. Just make sure before you put that back in there, your stuff's separated again.
My what?
Your flour and your broth is separated, so you're going to want to mix that up or it's going to be real sludgy.
You don't want sludge.
No.
You want slurry. There's a difference between sludge and slurry.
So what this story was telling you, after we put while he was putting the shelf together, I was cooking pork chops together.
And we went back out on the deck, hung out for a couple hours, took a swim, just kind of hung out and listened to, like I said, some cheesy 80s music. And then right at 2.5 hours, she goes in to the house, comes right back out, says dinner's ready. And then she brought Miss Ad and I dinner out on the back deck, or as we call it out there, the redneck party deck. And
the good thing about this is, even though it's a quick cooking, it makes super tender pork chops, like the most tender pork chops you'll ever have.
They will fall apart. Pork tender. Now, I've actually got that on brown saute. I need to turn that to high, right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna go slow cook. High, start, try again, slow cook, on high, and then I'm going to do this for 2.5 hours,
Yep.
just like that. So I will set the lid on there, and then I will take my plate, and I better get a different fork because I want to most of our silverware's in the dishwasher. And this is what we had for dinner. It comes out with a gravy on it already. So just like that, as you can see here, see that gravy? That's the stuff that you put on top of it.
Perfect on mashed potatoes.
Yeah. Now watch this. No steak knife. Watch what I can do with a fork. Look what I can do. Right straight through the meat it goes. And this has actually been about an hour or so after you took it off the heat.
Yeah.
So the meat is set up a little bit. But
straight out. You have
you
to
saw
be careful
how easy it was for me to put that fork through there.
Notice he took a really big bite.
That was intentional.
Because I told him we had to leave some in the crock pot for us to shoot.
This is my second. That is so good.
That's going really hot, by the way.
It's cooling down from the...
Might unplug it.
We're going to unplug this until it cools down a little bit.
Yeah.
We're not going to unplug it. I'm just going to hit stop. If I unplug it, it's going to unplug that light too.
Oh.
Then you can't see my pretty face. Okay. So, I think you've known already my review of this pork chop that it is a very good pork chop. It is my favoriteest pork chop recipe ever now. It's #1. I'm very glad that I finally got to eat this. Aunt Lou did a great job putting it on the site. I'm very glad that she did. And you're going to be very glad too if you try it. It's very, very salty. Not like very, very salty. That's not the way I want to say it. It's got a salty flavor because you've got savory salty, yes. Because you've got the salt that you put in from the salt. You've also got the salt from the broth that you put in. That's all the salt you need. You can taste those flavors of the garlic in there. I guess the mustard, I can't really taste the mustard like you can't taste it.
It's just a nice flavorful blend.
It complements with the garlic. So,
we also have a chicken version of this on the
yes,
site.
And it is very good too. That flavor, that gravy, and there's gravy, I guess you want to call it gravy. The stuff that you made, that you mix together in your broth is, as you can see in this camera here, the stuff that's bubbling. Sorry, I just steamed y'all up there. But that makes for a great gravy to go over mashed taters, and I know this for a fact because that's what we just had for dinner. That, along with some green beans, fantastic. So, as I slobber all over my counter here, we want to thank you for watching another episode of Cooking Chris's Dishes with the Good Old Boy. And if you like what you saw and you have not become a member of the Slow Cooking family yet, there's a little red box somewhere around in this video that says subscribe. Click it and you'll receive emails telling us about new videos that we put up. You can see the old videos that we've done already that people are going crazy about. You're going to see a bunch of new stuff that I put on here every single week. And also, if you would, go to Facebook and check us out and give us a like at facebook.com at Recipes That Crock, as well as Good Old Tunes with Good Old Boy. That's me. Where we do music and other fun things as well as promo these videos. And again, thank y'all for watching us. And you keep watching and we will keep cooking. Especially if it's this good, I'll keep eating. Bye.